What's up, y'all? Mark here. Y'all know how to do cookbooks, bring information. I want to talk a little bit about quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum theory. And in this field, the science, I want to discuss specifically the field. Within this field, there's a particular science called the observer effect. Again, within the field of quantum mechanics, quantum science, quantum physics, quantum theory, there is a particular field that is called, a particular branch in this field of science that is called the observer effect. And the observer effect states, and I'm going to paraphrase that, a conscious mind affects reality, or affects reality. And what that means is, by observing a phenomenon or matter, you alter the state of that condition and or circumstance. And this has been tried, proven. There is empirical scientific data that proves this, that where scientists has used double helix and ran experimentation up on top of experimentation, and they found out that based off mechanical detectors, of how the detectors themselves affected the state of light as it passed through a double helix. So there's scientific data to prove that your conscious mind, when you observe matter or a phenomenon, you actually affect it or effect it. You actually alter the state of it. You change it. Okay? So what that means for us in practical terms, I'm going to keep it simple. There's a saying in the church world that's called let go and let God. And that let go and let God is what quantum physics, quantum mechanics, the observer effect has proven, that when you fail to let go and let God, when you interact with matter, when you interact with a situation, you actually alter that situation. And here's the problem. Because this is done on a quantum scale, unwittingly to you, you are actually damaging the situation. You're making the situation worse by thinking that you can fix it, or that you can somehow mold it, fashion it, shape it to what you would want it to be. So when you are, and again, the word observer is not to be interpreted with a strict definition as a person looking at something. It does mean that, because when you look at something, your eyes, the frequency from your eyes interact with the matter of that which you're looking at and alter the state of that matter. Because in order for you to see something, there must be light. Light has to be interacting with the object that you're seeing, and then reflects from that object back to the cones. The cones in your eyes are responsible for coloration and allows you to see. So the light must interact with the object you're looking at, and then the object reflects that light back to your eyes, specifically the cones and rods. There's two things in your eyes called cones and rods that's responsible for vision. So the light interacts with the object, reflects from the object back to your eyes, therefore you can see the object. So when you look at something, just by virtue of looking at it, you're interacting with that object and altering the state of that object. However, it is on such a quantum scale, it is insignificant. It is the effect or the alteration is negligible to the naked consciousness, or to the normal consciousness. But if you're someone who studied the sciences, you understand that just your observation of a thing, object, situation, circumstance, etc., alters it to some extent. Again, it is on such an infinitesimal scale in terms of size, a quantum scale, so insignificant that it's negligible to the mind. But when you study science, you do understand that you do affect, you do change, you do alter states of things just by observing it. But again, observer in this context does not have to have a strict interpretation of a person. Observation could be a thing. For instance, if I was to measure the pressure in my car tire, it is virtually impossible for me to measure the pressure in my car tire without releasing some of the air in that tire. I'll say that again. If I get an instrument to measure the air pressure in my car tire right now, it is virtually impossible to do so without altering the state of the pressure that's in that tire. So whatever the pressure is, when I measure it, is going to be reduced proportionately by what is released upon me interacting. And in that sense, The observer in that sense is not my eyes, but rather the instrument that I'm using to measure the pressure. So observer does not necessarily mean a person. It could be a person, an object, or thing. So whenever you are observing something, you are altering that thing. So for me, I go through personal issues in life all the time, right? I'm going through some stuff right now. Life is kicking me, trying to throw me off and beat me the hell up. And it's interesting. I know the science, but knowing it and practicing is two different things. It's very difficult to practice. I find myself trying to change and fix my situations. And I know that in so doing, I'm actually making it worse. Because once a situation is outside of the realm of your immediate control, there's nothing you can do to bring it back into balance, equilibrium, or where you would like it to be. At this point, this is where let go and let God comes into play. This is where the observer effect comes into play. And more than often, this is very important, folks, more than often, the entities or the energies or the frequencies that we are emitting when we observe a situation, and remember, observe doesn't just mean to look at. Observe means to interact with. When we observe a situation mentally, consciously, physically, more than often, we are radiating a negative alteration to that situation. We're going to elicit, we're going to promote, project a negative entity or energy or frequency towards that situation that's going to alter it, and it's going to alter it with in the same nature of the emission of the energy that you're emitting. And if it's negative, which it is more than often, because again, when we're going through a situation and we're frustrated and we're trying to fix it, whether it's with words, deeds, actions, thinking upon it, whatever, all these are forms of observation in terms of the science. So when more than often we're trying to fix a situation from frustration, we're emitting, we're radiating, we're radioactive at this point, and we're emitting entity or energy or frequency towards that situation that has the same nature as the frustration or the anger or the bitterness or the pent-up emotions that we have within us. So we're projecting a negative vibration, a negative energy on a situation that we want to fix, but in so doing, we're actually projecting this negative energy into the situation that's only going to alter the state of it for worse, not better. So again, the observer effect, which is a field or a branch in the field of quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, quantum theory, quantum physics. This is just one of many of the branches, the observer effect. I just explained to you the practical application of it. Let go and let God. When we observe things, we actually change things. And it works in our favor too, folks, because what this means, the flip side of the coin is, if you understand the science, you understand that your conscious mind creates your reality. Your conscious mind affects and creates your reality. So use it for the betterment. Use it to be constructive, not destructive. Most use it destructively and unwittingly. Most of us are unwittingly using it destructively. So once we come into the science, the knowledge, understanding, overstanding, then we have to learn how to use it constructively for the betterment of our reality. So your consciousness creates your reality, right? And that's the observer effect. Your mind affects and creates your reality unwittingly or wittingly, but either way it does. So it's vitally important that we come into this understanding. We learn some of this information and try to put it into practice. Again, it's very difficult to do. It is an art. It is a skill. It takes years of practice, patience, diligence, and meditative states, and a lot of self inner strength to be able to do these things and to put these things into practice. So till next time, y'all know what I'm gonna be doing: cooking books and sharing information. About to go to the gym and attempt to work out. I haven't worked out in about 4 or 5 days. I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, been slipping. So I'm gonna go in there now and try to get my groove back. Till next time, peace.